Welcome back to my channel, The Coin Spot. Today is best top 2 coins, one you want to miss. We're diving into the world of United States coins. Please don't skip this video, so let's get it started. Top 1. The 1982 Elizabeth II 50 pence coin is a notable example of British decimal coinage that reflects both the heritage and modernization of the United Kingdom's currency system. First introduced in 1969, the 50p coin was part of the UK's major monetary transformation known as decimalisation, which officially took place in 1971. The year 1982 is significant within the history of the 50p coin because it was one of the final years that the original, large-sized 50 pence coin was issued with the standard Britannia reverse design. The coin issued in this year was intended for general circulation and is relatively common compared to some other commemorative or low-mintage 50p issues. Nevertheless, it holds an important place in British numismatic history due to its design, size, and the period of the Queen's reign. It represents design and artistic elements. The obverse, front, of the 1982 50 pence coin features the second definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was designed by the sculptor Arnold Machin R.A., Royal Academician. This portrait shows the Queen facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a gift she received from her grandmother, Queen Mary. This depiction of the monarch is more youthful compared to later portraits and captures the elegance and dignity associated with the early decades of her reign. Surrounding the portrait are the Latin inscriptions, Elizabeth II D.G. Reg. F.D. 1982, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. These words reaffirm the Queen's divine right to rule and her status as the head of the Church of England, a title passed down since the reign of Henry VIII. The reverse, back, design of the coin features the seated figure of Britannia, a classical representation of Britain as a nation. She is shown holding a trident in one hand and an olive branch in the other, symbolizing both maritime strength and a commitment to peace. Beside her rests a shield bearing the Union flag, and a lion, a traditional emblem of strength and British sovereignty, rests at her feet. The inscription above the figure reads, 50 pence, and the denomination, 50, is inscribed in numerals beneath the central image. This reverse design, created by Christopher Ironside, was used from 1969 until 2008, making it one of the most recognizable designs in British decimal coinage. The imagery harks back to Roman Britain and the concept of the United Kingdom as a powerful island nation, heavily reliant on its naval prowess, technical specifications, and composition. The 1982 50p coin belongs to the large 50 pence series, which was eventually replaced with a smaller version in 1997 due to the inconvenience of the coin's size and weight in circulation. The coin is seven-sided, also known as an equilateral curved heptagon, a unique design that allows it to roll smoothly in vending machines while still being easily distinguishable by touch. The coin was struck in copper-nickel, an alloy composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-like appearance and strong durability. It has a weight of approximately 13.50 grams, a diameter of 30 millimeters, and a thickness of 2.5 millimeters, making it significantly larger than the current 50p coins in circulation today. The edge of the coin is plain, with no inscriptions or milling, which was standard for 50p coins of this era. The coin was minted at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales, which has produced all UK coinage since the late 1960s. There were no special mint marks or privy marks used on the circulating version of the 1982 50p, though proof and mint sets were issued by the Royal Mint for collectors. The total mintage for the standard circulating version was approximately 51.6 million coins, indicating that it was produced in large numbers and widely distributed across the United Kingdom. Circulation and withdrawal. When first issued, the 1982 50 pence coin entered active circulation throughout the UK and was a regular part of everyday commerce. It was used in shops, public transport systems, vending machines, and other areas where coinage was needed for small to mid-sized transactions. However, due to its substantial size and weight, the coin was often considered bulky for pocket use. As a result, in 1997, the Royal Mint introduced a smaller, lighter version of the 50p coin to replace the larger series. The change in size also prompted a withdrawal and eventual demonetization of all large-sized 50p coins, including the 1982 issue. These coins ceased to be legal tender on February 28, 1998. After that date, they were no longer accepted for transactions in shops or banks, although collectors may still retain or trade them privately. Despite their demonetized status, these coins have gained renewed attention from collectors, especially those interested in the coinage of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. The 1982 coin, being part of the larger pre-1997 series, has nostalgic and historical value, particularly for those who grew up using these coins or who are building complete date runs of 50p pieces. Collectability and market value. From a numismatic standpoint, the 1982 Elizabeth II 50 pence coin is considered common in terms of mintage numbers, and therefore not particularly rare in circulated condition. Coins that have been used in daily transactions often show wear, scratches, or loss of luster, which reduces their market value. Such coins typically trade for around face value, in collector interest, or slightly above, depending on condition. However, uncirculated or proof versions of the 1982 coin, especially those issued in Royal Mint sets, can command higher prices. A high-grade coin, graded MS65 or above, might sell for several pounds or even more in certain markets, particularly when offered with original packaging or certificates of authenticity. Coins with historical context, such as representing a transitional period in currency design or marking a time in Queen Elizabeth II's reign, are often collected not just for their monetary worth but for their educational and historical interest. For example, the 1982 coin reflects the style and political symbolism of early 1980s Britain, a time of significant social and economic change under the government of Margaret Thatcher. Top 2. The 1978 Elizabeth II 50 pence coin. The large size version covering its history, design, technical specs, circulation story, and collectability. If you like, I can also give current market/store prices in Pakistan or globally. Historical context and introduction. The 50p coin was introduced into United Kingdom coinage in 1969. As part of preparations for decimalization, the aim was to replace older coinage and establish a system based on 100 new pence to the pound. The 50p was notable for being a high-value coin in everyday use, and from its design onwards represented both a modernizing and symbolic element of the currency. By 1978, decimal coinage was well established, but the coin designs and terminology still reflected the transition that had occurred in the early 1970s. The 1978 50p coin is part of the original, larger 50p series, sometimes called the large 50p, compared with the smaller 50p introduced later in the 1990s. It was produced for regular circulation and saw widespread use throughout the UK during the late 1970s and beyond, until changes to coin sizes and demetallization eventually led to withdrawal of many old large coins' design and aesthetic features. On the obverse, front, side, the coin features the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. The image shows the Queen facing to the right, draped and wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The surrounding legend reads, Elizabeth II Reg. FAD 1978, which is the standard Latin formula meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This portrait is elegant, youthful in style, representing mid-reign Elizabeth, and was used on many denominations during that era. On the reverse, back side, the design shows Britannia, seated, holding a trident in one hand and an olive branch in the other, with a shield resting beside her. At her feet is the lion, a traditional British symbol of strength and guardianship. Above the figure is the inscription New Pence, reflecting early post-decimal terminology, and around it 50 new pence, with 50, in an excerpt. That reverse design is by Christopher Ironside. This imagery evokes classical symbolism. Britannia has been used for centuries on British coinage. Technical specification and physical aspects. Here are the technical details of the 1978 50p coin denomination. 50 new pence. At that time, new pence was still used. Later coins changed to simply pence or pence after 1981-82 year of issue. 1978 Mint, Royal Mint, Lantricent, Wales. Material composition: copper nickel. This gives it a silvery look and decent resistance to wear. Just shape: equilateral curved heptagon, 7-sided, curved edges, so the coin has constant width in all orientations. This helps in vending machines and for tactile recognition. Edge: plain, no reading, no inscription. 6. Diameter: 30.00 millimeters. Thickness: between about 2.50 millimeters in many references. Some sources differ slightly. Mass: weight approximately 13.50 grams. Mintage: how many were made? Circulation mintage is about 72,005,500 coins. Total mintage including proofs etc. slightly higher than circulation, usage, and withdrawal limit was after issuance. The 1978 50p coin entered broad circulation across United Kingdom. It was used in regular transactions, shops, public transport, vending machines, etc. Its relatively large size and weight made it noticeable, people quickly got accustomed to big 50p coins. However, over time the Royal Mint, government, and public recognized that large coins were less efficient, heavier, more costly in terms of metal, more bulky to carry. This led to an initiative to redesign the 50p coin to be smaller and lighter. In 1997, a smaller 50p was introduced. Subsequently, the old large 50p coins, including 1978 ones, were demonetized as legal tender on February 28, 1998. After that date, they ceased to be accepted in transactions by banks in the UK, though collectors and private transactions still acknowledge them rarity, condition, and collectability despite being demonetized. The 1978 50p remains a common coin among British numismatists, given its high mintage. It's not especially rare in circulated condition. Many are around in coin collections, old change jars, etc. The coin is often judged more on condition grade than on mintage when estimating value in good circulated condition. Its value above face is modest. Some numismatic catalogs and coin stores list the 1978 50p in circulated or fine condition for only a small premium over face, in UK terms, a few pounds or equivalent, depending on demand. Uncirculated or mint state specimens command higher prices, sharply struck, with full detail, no wear, strong luster. Proof sets also are more valued also. Coins with unusual errors, misstrikes, double dies, planchet flaws, are of greater interest. However, for 1978 large 50p, no widely known, ultra-rare varieties stand out, unlike certain commemorative or later special issues. So most of the collector premium depends heavily on preserving condition, minimal scratches, toning, sharp rims, etc. Current value and what to check. If you have a 1978 50p coin, here are some things you should check and consider to assess its value condition grade. Look for wear on the highest points, e.g., the Queen's tiara, the lion's mane, the shield, whether the edges are sharp, and whether the lettering is crisp. Uncirculated mint condition pieces are much more valuable than worn ones' luster and strike quality. Coins coming from collector sets often have better strike, sharper relief, and finer details. Patina toning. Natural toning can be desirable to some collectors if it's even and attractive. Unnatural or corrosive tone may reduce value market demand. Depending on where you are, UK, Europe, Pakistan, etc. Collector demand, shipping, and rarity in local markets affect pricing authenticity. Ensure the coin is genuine, especially important for high-grade ones. The shape, weight, diameter, etc. should match. Edge should be plain. Currently, listings show such coins going for modest premiums, say a few UK pounds, uncirculated or near mint specimens more. In some international online stores they might be priced somewhat higher due to shipping or rarity locally. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe on my channel for more videos.